Hi, team. Welcome to the Escape Podcast for Star Wars The Old Republic. Coming up, we cover our wishes and predictions for 2017. But first, a tiny bit of game and guild news. Our broadcast astromech today is EPC 176, who's still writing 2016 on his checks. Also, his ego's writing checks his body can't cash. We'll see if anybody gets that reference. With me, as always, is Seema. Hi, Seema. How's it going?
Hey, Max. I always get your references because they're always from Top Gun.
And if you don't, I explain them in detail every time. Yes, and they are always from Top Gun.
I had a pretty good week this week. I mean, New Year's Eve and New Year's and a new start to a new year is always a good thing. I did a lot of conquest last week because it was one of those crafting weeks, and I just got a bee in my bonnet that I was going to do a bunch of conquest, and I did. I finished personal targets on 8 characters. So that was quite a bit of crafting.
Yeah,
and then I also did some leveling on my synth weaver, which is weird to say because usually you would say, yeah, I'm leveling my bounty hunter or I'm leveling my operative, but I want to get my synth weaver to level 66 so she can be one of my, crafting teams that can send out 8 characters on missions, because she's also a slicer and archaeologist, so
yeah,
she can do those things. And what I've been doing to do that is every once in a while I will go. I have a list of all that. She's a Jedi Guardian. I have a list of all the shortest weekly heroics. So I just put on a XP boost, and she's got the XP armor. And I go and do like 3 or 4 really short heroics, and usually that results in a level, if not more. And sometimes I'll do 6 or 8 really short ones. And if I run out, then I just wait till the following week. And she's like 64 now, so probably one more, foray out into the world, and she'll be 66. And that's been kind of fun because you have to learn a little bit about the class to kill a few things. I mean, her T7 is influence level 50, so I mean T7 could probably kill things by himself, but still.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun, actually. But yeah, that's what I've been doing.
I would love to see that. What's that?
You'd love to see what, my Guardian?
No, your list of the fastest heroics.
Okay.
Heroic dailies. Yeah, that would be great to see at some point. So
this is a pub
keep
site.
Eye out for that. And Seema will publish that to us all in the near future. I will commit to that.
So I have a question for you, though, Max.
Yes.
Have you made any New Year's resolutions?
Have I made any New Year's resolutions? Not really. So I do some things. I run every day, right? That started as a New Year's resolution, but now I'm going on. I think this is the start of my 4th year. Yeah. So 3 years ago, I had a New Year's resolution for the month of January, and I usually do things if I'm going to do a New Year's resolution, I do it for the month of January, which I do have a new one this year, which I did last year too. But for the month of January, I said I'm going to run every single day, minimum of 2 miles. Get on the treadmill or go outside, and minimum of 2 miles, maximum, I'll sometimes run, 10 or more. If I'm doing marathon training, I'll go up to 20. But that started as a New Year's resolution, and then I haven't stopped, and I haven't missed a day in over 3 years now. And I track what I run every single day, and so that's still going on. The other one, which I did last year, and I'm doing again this year, is no alcohol for the month of January. And that's not because I'm like super, anti-alcohol in any way. In fact, quite the opposite.
Yeah.
And in December, when you have a bunch of like holiday parties and there's New Year's and there's a whole bunch of stuff going on, it tends to be quite a bit of alcohol and whatnot, quite a bit of holiday cheer. So I figure it's good to do like a January thing, unless I'm like I got a business trip, and I'm sure we'll go out to dinner. I'll do a glass of wine in the middle of the month, so I'll make exceptions for that. But that's the other one I'm gonna do is mostly no alcohol for January. Then February, look out, because then I'm gonna be back. How about you, Seema? Are you doing anything significant?
Well, I don't know if it's significant or not, but I'm I've made a resolution, and I'm gonna use your thing now that I heard of it, and make it for the month of January that I'm not gonna binge watch anything.
Mm.
And what I mean by binge watching is, stringing together multiple episodes in one sitting. Because for me, I have there's a moment where I have zero willpower. It's a moment where the credits come up at the end of one episode and the play next button comes up. They come up at the same time. It's just like something takes over and I
Yeah.
just click that button. So
And
I started
Netflix
to
is
watch this.
nefarious because it'll say next episode starting in 15 seconds. So
Well, I have
it's
that turned off, but
no,
still.
honestly, I don't. And then it's like it's effort not to keep going and just staying up all night. Because
I started to watch this show last week called Glitch or The Glitch, and
yeah,
it's an Australian supernatural slash science fiction, I don't know which, drama. And I got about halfway into the first episode, and I'm just like, I know what's happening here is I want to know why that thing that it started with is happening, and I'm not going to find out until like 8 or 9 episodes in. And in the meantime, it's going to be the drama of all these people's lives, and like maybe there'll be flashbacks, maybe I'm like, so I was like, okay, turn it off now while you can.
yeah,
And so I'm just like, ah. So I didn't start that. I mean, I just clicked. I watched half of the first episode because if I watched it to the end, I would have clicked play next.
exactly. Okay, well that's a good one. So that is also good. So we'll see how we do by the end of the month. But I really, I don't really care if it doesn't work out, it doesn't. But if I'm getting a kick out of it, like this running thing, I sort of kept it up.
Well, if I had a healthy one, that would be different.
Well,
And then
that's sort of healthy. No binge watching. That keeps you, I mean, mentally healthy.
no, I agree. I agree, but it's like a negative one. If I had a positive one, like run every day that was healthy and was working for me, I totally would do that.
Back to what else I've been doing besides resolving to do things in game. I only did two characters with the one with the crafting and then one with just purely PvP and GSF and a lot of GSF. I've been flying GSF. Well, it was sort of vacation. I was mostly off of work the last week and flew quite a bit of GSF and really liking it. I'm building out my bomber. My bomber's starting to look good. I've got some upgrades and unlocks on it now. I'm flying that razor wire still and liking it, getting some good. And as I was saying to a couple people, I find it a little more less frantic and less frenetic playing a bomber versus playing either a scout or a gunship, and definitely less than regular PvP, than player versus player regular PvP, which is that gets my adrenaline going, and then I need some time to calm down and stop punching holes in the wall and things like that after PvP. So I can relax a little bit more and play my bomber and get some good GSF matches in. So that's been good. So I'm going to keep that up. It's gotten me to rank 44 in Galactic Command, which is okay. That's not being very casual. That's playing quite a bit and doing a couple Galactic Command ranks on most days and playing most days. So if I've been doing that and I'm only rank 44, to me that seems slow. So that's sort of a side thing that I'm continuing to conclude, that the ranks are too far to get to tier 3, because I really don't care about the tiers until tier 3. Tier 2 being at 80 and tier 3 being at 90 and tier 3 being at 180 is just too much. I think 40 and 80 would be good for tier 2 and tier 3. Yes, the hardcore people are going to be there right away, but they're going to be there. I mean, we've got people at 300 already, so that's the way that goes. Anyway, that's what I've been doing. And with that, I think we can talk about the tiny, what do we have, like one thing in the news this week, but we can still talk about news.
Now, an Imperial News Network report.
So apparently, if you follow the Gregorian calendar, another new year
And
has
I do.
begun. Do you? Uh, so Neil deGrasse Tyson was kind enough to point out, who I respect quite a bit. He said, yes, this is the quote unquote New Year's if you follow that Gregorian calendar, but keep in mind it's completely arbitrary from an astronomical perspective and has no significance whatsoever. Which, while true, is a little bit of a buzzkill for New Year's Eve. So, come on, Neil, lighten up. Uh, so that is one news item. What else do we have in the news, Seema?
Not a lot. I do want to say that there's no news about the January live stream. I mean, they said there was going to be one, but we don't have a date for that yet. So I guess it's not going to be this week.
Right, not this Thursday. So they've been tending to do them on Thursdays. So yeah, I guess it's not this week. And
So that's kind
so
of,
we'll see.
not really news. That's like non-news. But also a note from a helpful player via Reddit. Since you can use cheap character transfers for name changes, I never really thought about that. But basically, on your target server, or
Yep.
yeah, yeah, you can see how that works. Like you transfer to a different server, then on your home server, you create a level 1 character with your name that you don't want anymore. Then you transfer your character back, and it'll force you to name change. I'm sure that's the theory, right?
Yep. Yep. And that does work. So I saw that on Reddit too. I thought that was a good little side tip. While these are on sale like that, go after it. And if you want to do a little bit of a name change, that's not a bad use of that system. In guild and community news, lots of good community content being created. We'll be talking a little bit about some stuff that came up this week from Sam at SWTOR Central, for example. So we'll save that. Our mandatory fun nights are definitely starting back up. We had a full group to do 16-man content tonight. We had more than that on, but 16 people joined in just for our fun little guild run, and that was pretty fun running Dread Fortress all the way through and completing it.
I mean, 16-man ops, especially in story mode, is like a party. So much fun, especially when you actually have 16 people. I mean, we've done it a few times with 12 people, and it's more like going to work.
Yes. Yeah, it is. It's a little more relaxing with 16 people going through the story content, especially since we have some people in there that we're just leveling up with basically quest gear. We had
Which
a
is
couple
fine.
people that got went up for like 8 levels or 9 levels over the course of the one operation. But then we have some other people that are all in all 230s at this point pretty much and
Right.
doing quite a
And
bit
who
of
have done the
damage.
fights many times and have good advice, and yeah,
So
it's a
yeah,
good
it worked
mix.
pretty well. We wiped a couple times on Barantes, but then got it down as we all sort of remembered and decided which direction to run and and all that kind of thing. So it was fun, and it got done in a good amount of time. One thing that we also tried to do that I'd love any feedback if anybody's got it, we tried to go hunt down conquest commanders and couldn't find any. And either other guilds had been out there and killing them all, which I find suspect, or they're not spawning, or something is weird with them. I would like to know, because it's also a conquest target this week. So you'd think there would be a way to go and find those commanders of enemy forces. But maybe guilds were already doing it, and maybe that's part of the problem. I think it's something else, but that's just me. If anyone would like to join our guild fund, Seema, how would they do that?
Well, there's yes, it's really hard. Log in on Jedi Covenant, join a channel made for this purpose called AIE LFO, and say hi. Ask for an invite. We will invite you. It works better in the evenings. Also, you're more likely to find one of us on the imp side because we're more active on the imp side, but we do have guild on the pub side. And we will gladly go over to the pub side to do an invite if there's nobody over there. So yeah, come and check us out. You too
That
can come to Mandatory Fun Night. Plus, we do have real ops teams one on the pub side on Monday nights, and we have one on the imp side on Wednesday nights. And then Max and I, our team, LOL, which does not stand for laughing out loud, on Thursday nights.
Although that is where the acronym started.
Yeah.
Then we reverse engineered from them to be whatever we could come up with. And then
Right, exactly.
I heard a Friday night team is trying to get back together and
Oh, really? Okay, that's cool.
not an ops team, but Friday night uprisings. I think is
Oh, that's
some
even
people are
cooler,
trying to get
yeah.
together to do that. Oh, and I forgot there
Yeah,
was
because
one other. What's that?
oh,
Uprisings.
I was going to say uprisings are pretty good Command XP.
Yes, we did get some good Command XP. That's right. We as in you and I and a couple other people ran some the other night. And once you've got them down and you can run through it quick, you get especially if it's the bonus for the day, you get a lot of Command XP from running some uprisings especially at veteran,
Right.
which is a good step up. And then I forgot there was one other community shout out that you wanted to do that you had checked out earlier today. Even,
Oh
right?
yeah, so I went and visited the stream of TX Bone Collector 7, and I don't know where the name comes from. The TX part is from Texas because he's a Texan. But yeah, he was streaming SWTOR. He streams mostly like class story and story type stuff because that's what he enjoys about the game. And it was a cool little community in there, lots of people talking and chatting, and he seems like a good guy. And yeah, if you like to watch streamers, I would totally recommend him. It's TX Bone Collector 7 on twitch.tv.
Excellent. Sounds good. And with that, I think we can get into the meat of our wishes and predictions for 2017 as we gaze into the future.
It is the future you see.
Is that what I picked? That was a little short. Come on, Yoda. Give us a little bit more than that. What else does he say? He says,
Through the Force, things you will see, other places, the future, the past, old friends long gone.
I think I have a third one where he talks about the future. That Yoda always talking about the future. So anyway, we will also talk about the future. And let's start out, as I said, with Sam from SWTOR Central. If you go onto his YouTube channel this past week, he did a nice little 6, 10, 12-minute video where he walked through his top 5 wishes. So he did his wishes for 2017. And I liked him. So we'll call him out. In fact, I agree, and I'll piggyback off a couple of those when we get to mine. But his top 5 were, and I encourage you to go look at the video because he talks about the details of what he thinks about behind each of them. But he wants a new class, and he's hoping maybe it's something unique like a tank healer combo, which I thought of Treek. I thought that would be interesting if you could swap between tank and healer specs. He wants a new and bigger stronghold. He's got some interesting ideas on bigger, so check that out. Guild ship PvP, which is something that quite a few people have talked about for a long time. I love that idea. And then 2 others that I think this is on my wish list year 1, which was Pazak getting in the game, and yes, why not? Either Pazak or what's the other game?
The other like card game kind of game or table kind of game.
Yeah. That Han Solo and Lando Calrissian always play, and anyway. And then his 5th one is Sabak. There we go. That's it, Sabak. So Pazak and Sabak, get those in the game. And then the last one is that he would really like, which I think is pretty crazy, would be pod racing, and he's got some good ideas around that too. So those I thought were cool. And then we asked a couple people in game and on Twitter, Zen. And so I differentiate between predictions and wishes. So predictions are things that we think will actually happen, and wishes are things that we think probably won't happen, but could or we wish would happen. So I asked people for either wishes or predictions. So I don't know whether these are just wishes or predictions, but Zen in our guild said predicts a new op for 2017 and flex ops. Either that, which is so you can get anywhere between 8 and 16 players, would be a flex op type of option. So if you queued with 12 players, you went in with 12, the difficulty of the operation would scale to 12 players. I think that's an awesome idea.
Yes, that would be so good for us.
Or, as he says, or fill in with companions, which I also think is incredibly brilliant. Why not?
Yeah.
If we go in there with 12, so we'll go in there with 12, 13, we want to go do something. We don't want to always run Eternity Vault, which we can run 16 men with 8 people. But why can't we, although it would be a little bit difficult with some of those, like I just thought of Eternity Vault would be difficult with companions, because what are the companions going to do during the fight where you've got you fight the council? Still, we could work it out. Let us have companions for either most of the fights, and maybe we have to desummon them
That could be a
for
feature
some of that
of
weird
the new
stuff.
ops.
Right. But still, great idea. Stavis said he wishes.
I can see the raid leader just yelling at companions for not getting in their colors. Operator 9.
Damn it, Senya! Stop standing in the fire. Yeah. Minus 50 DKP. That's what'll happen. Stavis says legacy companion influence is his wish, which is now that we've got, everybody has tons and tons of alts. Wouldn't it be nice if, as we're leveling up companion influence, if we didn't have to do it over and over and over to 50 for all of these, for all of these side companions? Good idea. I think that does definitely is on the bubble there. As something it would be that I don't see them doing, but yeah, I would love it too. Who else did we have, Seema?
Sorry, I was responding in guild chat. I should have been.
I was just talking too much. So over to you, Seema.
So predictions, yes. Did you talk about
ShadowCon? You can do ShadowCon.
Okay, new stronghold, because I actually think that's fairly likely.
Yeah.
New strongholds, and like I wanted to say too, SWTOR Central was saying a new and bigger stronghold, which got me thinking. I like that idea, but I also like the idea of having a small, like a cottage type, like a cozier stronghold too.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea. I always liked the idea. That this would sort of break the stronghold system, but what if there was like an apartment complex, and you actually had neighbors, and you could like go out of your little apartment, and you had neighbors on each side of you, and it was sort of like, maybe it was just each hallway was an instance in your apartment complex, and you could have like little parties on your floor of your apartment complex, and you had a little apartment then that people could come in and out of. That'd be hilarious.
Terrace apartments. They'd be like at all crazy angles because they were blown up a few years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Dent says a new operation where Kephas makes an appearance. So we were just doing Brontes again with more Kephases spawning. And then we started brainstorming on top of that and said, wouldn't it be cool if you could do an operation where you are Kephas? you play as Kephas, and maybe there's like eight other people that fight you, and you have to fight like a group of 8 or 16.
And they're all Kephas also.
They're all Kephas. It's just like one of those two mirrors that face each other. It's just infinite Kephases.
Stavis said that he wanted more HK55 themed rewards.
He's being cheeky. But why not? Maybe we could have like HK's legs hollowed out and turned into boots for us. We could wear his chassis on our on our backs as a backpack. Yeah, that sounds great. And Peters did a shout out to, hey, can we finally get courting gifts fixed? And that one, I keep seeing that one pop up in on the forums all the time and in like the stream chat. Well, that has been lingering for quite a while. So yes, I
Yeah.
hope they fix that too.
It would be useful because I mean I just have so many of them stockpiled at this point because I never even try to use them.
Hold on one sec. Is this a bad link in in guild chat and Twitch chat there? Should I ban that? Somebody tell
I
me
would
if
say yes.
I should. I don't
I just have a
trust it.
feeling, a bad
Obfuscated.
feeling.
So Spicy, I'm going to delete this. How do I get rid of it? How do I how do I edit this?
Oh,
I'm gonna delete that, Spicy, and then you can repost it as, oh, it's a push. It's safe. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. If it's and it's just, all right. If somebody tell me if there's a problem with that, I just caught it out of the corner of my eye. Anyway, back to our regularly scheduled program. So, before we get into what our predictions are for 2017 and what our wishes are for 2017, I wanted to take a little look back, and look at what we did in 2016 and what we predicted and what our wishes were for 2016. So why don't we take a look at yours first, Seema? Why don't you walk through what your predictions were, and we can decide between us whether you were right or wrong.
okay. Well, for 2016, I predicted a new operation in the fall, so that was not wrong. I also predicted a new war zone sometime in the summer, also not right. Then I predicted one big thing that we're not expecting at all, kind of how GSF or the Alliance system just kind of, showed up. And I could say that. I mean, that's pretty valid. I mean, we've gotten Eternal Championship. We got, the whole Galactic Command XP thing. So, yeah, those are unquestionably big things, and we weren't expecting them.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that one's a big score. So yeah, we didn't get the war zone or the operation, and I think I had something similar when we get to mine. But yeah, we did get, for better or for worse, we got Conquest, we got the DVL, and we got Eternal Championship. Right? Is those the three that you said?
Yeah.
I think all three of those were maybe not the best things ever, but new, different, significant for each of them in their own right. And maybe we could wish for more or less of each of them. And there's a lot of controversy over some of them. I think Eternal Championship is an interesting one. It sort of came and went. Which is a little bit of a shame because it's a cool idea, and I think they even could have done more with it.
Like Star Fortress.
Yeah, same thing. Star Fortress sort of was underused, under implemented in some ways, but still. So that was a yes. And what about your wishes? So you had a bunch of wishes. Anything big stick out to you there?
I mean, the first one was kind of a self-righteous, pay attention, look around, BioWare, blah 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 blah. But it was all about how the community had so much feedback to give, but it seemed like it was falling, that they weren't taking advantage of it. And I would say that in 2016 there has been an uptick in that. Like they have the weekly live stream, the dev live streams. They did start. It does feel more like there's more dialogue going back and forth between the community and BioWare. Is it wonderfully rich? Not yet, but I think it's improved.
Yeah, I think it has too. I think we talked a little bit about that last week. I agree.
I mean, a lot of it is, them communicating more to us and, but still that's how it starts. So
Yep.
that's good. I also complained about that I didn't, the chapters, the pattern of the chapters where you watch a bit of a movie, then you kill a bunch of sky troopers, and then you watch a bit of a movie, and then you kill a bunch of sky troopers. And I think they changed that up too, because now they have, in between the story pieces, there's more engaging gameplay. At least for me, there is, and it's not just hallways and then sky troopers come around the corner and then the next hallway and the sky. Now it feels more like a game, like you're playing a game, and parts of it are story and conversation.
I
So
agree,
yeah,
and they
I get
especially
that.
in Eternal Throne, they added in more mechanics. Like you get to play as the Imperial Walker, a couple times. You get to assault a big Imperial Walker, a big giant robot. You get to do the Pacific Rim thing. There's a little bit more of the puzzly type stuff that went on. Yeah, I think they did enrich the gameplay in Eternal Throne a little bit more. So that's a good
I
one.
also wished for fixing long-standing bugs, and I can't say that I've seen a lot of that.
I see. Oh, so did you wish for this? You wish for them to. Well, you wished for cross-faction guilds, which we did not get. But you also, I
And
see you wished for them to raise the limit above 500,
yeah,
which
and
they
they did
did.
do that.
So
Yeah,
that's a huge score, which I
you're
think
welcome.
everybody is happy about that because I still see. So I was reading some stuff out of the official forums, and there was another guild saying we're a big guild. We've got 750 members, blah blah blah, or 750. Well, they said 750 members, but I think that's probably 750 characters in their guild. Even so, that's so that I think 1,000 has worked out well as a current guild cap. We have not hit it yet. Even just saying everybody put every alt you have out of the many alts that you have, we haven't hit 1,000 yet. So that's worked out great.
The other thing I wished for is to make it worth getting out into the world, and I think they actually did that. Not only they first did it with weekly heroics.
Yep.
That got me out into the world quite a bit, and now they're also doing it with command XP. It makes it worth it out to go out into the world and do stuff.
Yes, it does. It does. Command XP has a Galactic Command for as much as people claim to hate it, and it's mostly they hate the RNG part of the system. I think it's been a benefit to the game. Ranked PvP, which was mostly dead, is pops on a regular basis. Starfighter is popping more than it has been for a long time. War zones are running pretty healthily. People want to do lots of different things. I mean, we've done uprisings. People go back and play chapters. People like doing the planetary missions because you're sort of getting double rewards. You're not just doing them just for credits, but you're doing them for credits, and then you're also getting the command XP. So yeah, if they can rework the reward system, which they're going to take a stab at, and make that work out a little better, yeah, it's gotten people out. It's gotten people doing stuff. So good one. Yeah, so that was good. Oh wait, no, it's me who predicted the raise the limit above. That was one of my wishes. Oh, I was reading it wrong. I wish for the limit to raise above 500. So I rule.
Oh, I was going to take credit for that one.
So what did I wished for mega server merges. I think I'm going to wish for that again. That certainly did not happen. I didn't expect, but I wished for more open world PvP, and that's my old idea of if they could make
Instead,
a
we got
system.
less.
Yeah, instead we got if they could make a system where there was player generated content where you could go out and capture a base, and within some time period, other guilds could for rewards could come and assault the base that you had captured, and there was incentive to go back and forth, so that players generate their own content. by capturing territory and holding it and trading it back and forth and open world type stuff going on. That I think that would save them from having to build a new war zone, because I don't think people want just more and more war zone maps. That's not really what people want.
They want variety.
They want variety, and they want something new to do that is PvP, for example.
Right.
So that's still a wish. I wanted to. So I wished to be able to summon companions and ops groups and operations. So I wished that in 2016. So there, I'm right with you. Who said that tonight?
It was Zen.
Zen, yeah. So yeah, I wish that in January 2016. I'm right on. Cooperative server events. Oh, well, maybe we did sort of get this. So one of my wishes was cooperative server events, and this was more like, hey, the rat ghoul plague has started. The whole server needs to work together to combat the rat ghoul plague, and until the eyeless is killed 1,000 times, and not as simple as that, but like everybody on the server has got to do a whole bunch of things and contribute in lots of ways to do a thing. Now, it's not completely that way, and it's much smaller, but the whole dark versus light thing, swinging back and forth, it's a cooperative server event. I don't think there's enough of a consequence right now, and there's not enough of a feeling of contributing, where you'd like, where it would make sense to get like a couple guilds to form an alliance so they all sort of push everything into the light side. I don't see that happening. It really isn't set up that way. But it's a tiny step in that direction. I like that. And then my idea for a wish for 2016 for a stronghold was a stronghold where you build the stronghold. You sort of build the layout of the stronghold yourself and then decorate it. And then I also wished for something more of a tie-in with the movies, which we did not really get, except for a couple decos and a couple pieces of gear. So I did get this regen item, which is called, what is it called again? No, not that. It's called Fearsome Rage.
Oh, yes. That's Fearsome Rage.
So Fearsome Rage, which is hilarious because it's basically Kylo Ren's temper tantrum in the station that he has, where he slashes his lightsaber on the communications console. It's a really well done little animation, and it's a regen item, so you can hit it over and over, and it regens you. You whip out a lightsaber. No matter your class, you whip out a lightsaber and you bash it at this big command console that appears in front of you. And then about halfway through, you get really tired and you take some deep breaths and put your hand down, and then you smack it a couple more times. So I like that. So that's a good one. We got the vented lightsaber. I still think they should have done more, and maybe they couldn't because too. It's a whole there's the whole licensing and
history
canon and stuff But
but
missing an opportunity.
Something to take better advantage of the movies. Yeah.
Yep. And then my predictions were, I predicted, because I think we were going back and forth. Are there going to be delays? Are they going to mess up? I predicted chapters on time, and they would come once a month, like they said, and they would be on time. And really, they did that. I think they lived up to that. I predicted a new war zone by summer. Which we did not get. I predicted 2 new operations for late summer and fall, which we certainly did not get. So that was a big fail there. I predicted more side content to be added to the game. So not main story, not an operation or anything. So that I'm counting as a win too of the the
DVL,
DVL Eternal Championship and the command system. And then I predicted that the new expansion would be announced in fall but not released until early 2017. But we did get that Eternal Throne done in December, by December.
Yeah, we did.
So that sort of came out ahead. I missed that by saying 2017, but better that we got it. All right, so let's get to this year. What do you want to do first, Seema? Your wishes or your predictions, or both?
Let's
you sort
do
of
wishes.
mixed them up. All right, what do you wish
I
for?
did sort of wish because I did it sort of stream of consciousness while I was thinking about things. Um, every year I sort of wish for something cool for crafters to be able to do, and it's usually similar to this what I'm putting down here, but I wish that crafters could make pets and maybe toys. So like Arms Tech and Cyber Tech could make like little flyby ships or spy droids or probe droids or turrets or whatever. You know, Armor Techs could make the walking droids or like, and by that I mean like the Astromechs and the isotype style, not isotype, the
Isotope.
the McKeb style, yeah,
Yep.
droids. And like maybe synth weavers and artificers could make something, you know, like crystalline structure things of something or other, and or maybe these could be toys. I don't know, but and make them so that the schematics are fairly rare and hard to get, not like the mounts that Cybertech can make, where you get the schematics from slicing or whatever they come from, and you just throw them away because there's just thousands of them around. You can't sell them
Yeah.
or use them because you've learned them
The
on every
Vectron
character or whatever.
slicer. Another Vectron slicer
Yes,
schematic.
yes, right. Um, and every year too, I always say a new craft, completely like animal husbandry,
Making
or just
pets.
farming in general. Just something to do for. And also, what I was going to say is the schematics for these pets. They should come from something that a solo player does.
Yeah.
Like, don't put them in like ops or I don't know, just something that you could work toward just playing out in the world. So anyway, I always want the crafters to be able to make something special. Plus, I want more special things in the world in general. Not everything is gear for
Right.
me. For a
Yeah.
lot of people, that's probably true.
That's a good point.
So that's one wish. And this is maybe kind of a related wish, but I wish that when we're out in the world doing heroics or when we're doing uprisings or flashpoints or whatever, I wish that there would be something that would drop from the mobs. You know, maybe mats, other than just credits and the green gear that we vendor. So it's sort of like maybe mats or maybe parts for these pets that I'm talking about, or maybe there's a rare chance at a mount to drop or something to mix it up when you're out there doing world content, flashpoints, uprisings, chapters, whatever. It can be very, very rare, but just something to look forward to from actually killing the mobs that you have to kill. I actually wouldn't mind at all if it was just mats. If they, you know, like that mob could have been carrying some polished plasteel.
Yeah, but no, I think I like the idea of rare chance at some, you know, some cool world drop. And that'll tie into one of my wishes also. So when we get to it, let's remember that.
Another wish, and this is, I have a whole list of wishes around quality of life stuff, but just to surface one of the ones that is really big for me, some kind of inventory search.
Yeah.
And if I was putting in my druthers, I'd want it to be across characters. I wanted to include cargo holds and legacy storage. But even if
Yes.
all it did was search my even just one character, it would be such a leap ahead for us.
Absolutely.
But anyway,
That's a great idea. Across, I want legacy-wide inventory search. Where is my damn MGGS grappler? Where is my like?
Right.
So I keep going to my
like,
legacy storage.
I know I bought the gold scaling armor set.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great idea.
And if we ever were to get a new playable race, another new playable race, I'm not saying we never got one, but another new playable race, I'll just put my vote in again for Orlan. I just want to play Little Blue Elephant.
Yes. I think that's a good idea.
Nobody has to agree with me on that one. That's fine. I'm fine.
It could be a race and a pet.
Yes. And it could raise pets if it does animal husbandry.
All right, I'll do some wishes and then we'll go back to you for some actual predictions, which
Okay.
I think is actually going to happen. My wishes are, which I don't think is going to happen, but I still wish real hard. Just straight up server merges. I know they keep thinking about better than cross server. I would like them I'm sure there's infrastructure work that would need to happen, but just go to one server per region. an Asia Pacific server, a U.S. server, because we have people that from the East Coast that play on the West Coast that plays on the East Coast servers. It doesn't matter. It's fine. One server in the U.S., one server in Asia Pacific, and one like maybe a server in the UK, and be done. Just single server. That would solve just lots and lots and lots of things. So that's a wish. I still have on my wish. I think someone else already mentioned it. Oh, no, someone mentioned the PvP guild ship PvP. Right. I would still like PvE GSF, and I know some people wouldn't, but free flying. Oh no, Sam from SWTOR Central might have said PvE GSF, or no, he said PvP.
He's the one who said the flagship PvP.
Yeah, so I would like PvE GSF, where you get the gunships and the scouts and the bombers, and maybe you have to like go assault an enemy space station with a squad, and I'll get my squad of 8 people, and we got to go take down a Imperial destroyer, or maybe there's a whole an Imperial convoy, and we got to get in our ships, and we got to strafe the convoy and avoid the turrets, and maybe we get the bombers to lay down support, and the gunships take out the guns, and the scouts strafe in close and blow up with what I think that would be really fun. It's such an iconic part of the movies. It seems like it would be a really fun thing to do, and like the ultimate would be a very large round space station which is not a moon. that you have to get like 24 people together to assault and blow up.
If there was only one person now. If there was a PvE GSF, I would probably learn to play GSF.
Right. I think
which one day might result in PvP GSF for me, but right now I
think a lot of people would. I think a lot of people would get much more into that aspect of the game, and then deck out some of their ships and decorate their there's a whole bunch of cosmetic stuff that you can do to your starships that people probably don't even realize, but people would get into that, and I don't know, I think that would be pretty cool. And then my last one, which is a wish that I think is an awesome idea, I'll just say, if I do say so myself, is I know they've added, apparently they've added, I haven't seen it yet, but they've added what they call legendaries to the game, right? So what I believe it is especially at 240, if you get a legendary version of a set piece, it's 242, it's orange instead of purple, and you get a couple more stats on it. That's fine. That's mildly interesting. I would like them to add actual legendaries to the game. They have legendaries in some of the other games. Make it like a named lightsaber that's like the lightsaber of ass kicking, and it's 250, not 240. It's super rare drop. It's not like everybody gets it, and maybe you'll never get one. Maybe you'll get eventually get one, and it's a random rare thing. But actual legendaries that are unique and interesting, and then just start to scatter around, and you start to see people have them and do things like that. Maybe you can't do it with weapons because that would be too unbalanced. But maybe a helm or an earpiece of whatever, I don't know, but actual legendaries I think would be interesting in addition to the game.
Would it work for you if it was like a shell? No, because you want it to have the stat.
No, it's got to be stats and maybe some interesting ability or bonus. Like you equip this, so maybe it's a non-set piece. So yeah, maybe it's a relic. Maybe it's a relic that's better than all of the other relics by a significant amount, and it's like the relic of
and it allows you to do XYZ ability on the move.
It spawns a Force Ghost that fights by your side and does extra damage for 15 seconds once every 60 seconds or something like that.
Right. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Something big and significant. I think that would be cool. All right. What about your actual predictions? What do you really think is going to happen or not happen in 2017?
Well, I think I think there's going to be ops this year, but I think it's going to be something that we're not thinking of. So I think it's something that they don't want to call ops, but when we see it, we're going to go, okay, this is going to be our ops. How do we get our ops fixed? But it's going to be different in some way, and I don't know what that way is. It's like a way that we the community haven't thought of. That's my explanation for why they're so unwilling to talk about it,
Hmm.
because they don't want to give sound bites that would be misleading if it's completely a whole big system that they have brewing in their minds somewhere. So, but I think there will be ops in 2017. Hopefully not, you know, late in 2017. Hopefully soon in 2017.
Yeah. I think that's on my list for a prediction too. I hope sooner rather than later. I predict though in 2017 we'll get something that resembles an op, and we should.
Let's see what else I like many people have said, I predict for sure that there's going to be at least one new stronghold this year. I mean, that seems like a no-brainer. Although I do think a lot of work goes into the strongholds, especially if they make, like when they made the Yavin 4 one, it was very different from all the ones before it. So I don't know, but I think there will be a new one.
Yep, I like that. That's a good prediction.
I think we'll start the next story, and I think it'll be all new characters. Like I think you said somewhere in your notes maybe a story about the Gree.
Yeah,
That'd be entertaining.
I was just throwing that out there, but yeah, I agree with this one too. So I think we'll get a new expansion within this year, and I think it will be it's not going to be an easy a cool thing. I hope it's really new. In fact, I hope it's something completely we've never heard of and blows our socks off. But even if it's
Well,
something like the Gree
I want
come
my
to
little
town.
cottage on Rishi by the water. But aside from that, a real stronghold. And then I put down, I don't even know what I meant by this, but I just put prediction, Cephas.
I know. I was just looking at that. What does that mean? I predict. I predict Kethis. Well, yes, I think we all do. So I agree. That goes without saying. So yeah, that's a good one.
I predict Cephas.
So I did mine independent from yours, but I think we matched up pretty much one for one. So that's sort of boring. Maybe we'll have to each step out and
Let's
do some
fight
other
about
thing.
something.
So I predicted one plus, so I meant one or more ops and one or more war zones sometime this year. I wish it would be something else besides just another war zone, but I predict one or maybe two war zones sometime this year. New war zone maps to be added. I predicted new expansion with a brand new storyline starting up. With hopefully something new, but even if it's something in game that comes back, I could see them doing something around the Gree. I think there's more to that story that they could tell. And then I predicted a stronghold also. Again, I have wishes around doing something unique with it, but my prediction is, yeah, it's time for them to add another stronghold to the game, and I don't see why they couldn't or shouldn't or wouldn't. So.
I
That's a
wish that
prediction.
I was thinking about this earlier today that for strongholds in general, it'd be cool if they could be more lively. Like if you could have your companions or your pets or whatever just kind of wandering around in there, or if you could have like over time like a collection of mobs would like collect up like in your pond and Yavin 4 some fish evolved into like frogs or something, and you had an infestation of frogs, and you had to go kill all the frogs, or you had rats in your Drummond you wouldn't have rats, but yeah,
Yeah.
just something that would happen every once in a while that you would have to go and take care of, or yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say
No, I like
invasions,
that.
but
Getting into the wish space. I think I wished for some stronghold stuff before that was just to make the strongholds a little more lively and dynamic. Like as you wandered around your stronghold, maybe every once in a while, an NPC would come wandering into your stronghold, and maybe have a unique one-off daily that you could only get if you were like hanging out in your stronghold and you happen to see this NPC come visit. And you track that down, and then you could go off and do this unique daily that you can only do, once in a while. I think that would be cool. Maybe if it's a really rare spawn of NPC that comes to visit, and you do their quest line, they become a new companion, and they sort of like join because they stumbled into your stronghold and came to visit and liked it and felt like they wanted to stay. But just more things that make your stronghold alive, I think, is a great idea. So stronghold prediction, stuff in the stronghold, it tends to be the wishes. But if wishes were fishes, then beggars would ride. So
from
like
the
that.
chat room, people have wished for a few things too, like some kind of memorial on Alderaan for Carrie Fisher, which I think is a great idea.
That's a good wish.
In fact, when I was talking about inventory search, someone mentioned too that if we could search through decorations, that would actually be awesome because there's hundreds of decorations. So that's a good obvious choice for a search.
Yeah, that's also good. A couple other things have popped up in there. I know there's been some good discussion. Feel free to pull it up on YouTube. You can see the discussion that's been going back and forth. But yeah, I like more discussion of what the legendaries should do.
Yeah, but the way you do the memorial, you wouldn't say Carrie Fisher, you wouldn't say Princess Leia, but it would be something that was in the world that people knew what it referred to, and Art was commenting it's a slippery slope because what if more people die? And I'm like, that's fine, you can do it for them too. I mean, it's a infinite world. There's room for more than one statue.
Yes,
or
it is.
Plant or whatever it is.
They could put something somewhere and it would be okay. They could put a Han Solo-ish, to the legendary smugglers, Eternal Flame and Nar Shaddaa. They could put.
I mean, and while there's a
I'm not
memorial
signing
to
the
Robin
death warrant
Williams,
yeah,
but it's totally in context of WoW, but that's the intention of it. Whether or not you get it as a player, you may or may not, but that's what the intention of it was.
Yeah.
And Robin Williams did not live on Azeroth.
No, he did not. Did he not? I guess he didn't. Do we not? So yeah, good stuff. I think we'll keep track of these, our wishes and predictions, and see how we do at the end of 2017. I liked the suggestions that we got. If you guys have more, send them along. Add them to the show commentary on YouTube or elsewhere or in our website. And I'll try to keep track of those too. We'll catch up with them at the end of the year and see where we land. But I think anything else before we go out?
Yeah, I just want to say I saw our suggestion of, he calls it Deathbringer chest armor that has a 10% chance to one-shot somebody who hits you with a snowball, which I love. I will love because it would give it that essence of danger. You throw a snowball at someone.
So sometimes we do things wrong in ops and whatnot, and we say, well, that's just to make it scarier. So yes, that would make it scarier. If I was to make a real sort of wild out there wish would be that when you jump off something, you actually fall for a long time before everything goes black. All the way. I want to go all the way to the bottom.
Yeah.
Of things that I jump off.
I mean, I can understand that some things probably don't have a bottom, but yeah, I just want to, see if you jump down the thing in the fleet, see the levels going by and yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea because, well, as if people who know us know, we jump off of all the things. So
yeah,
I want a better experience when I jump off of all the things.
Yes, exactly. Please improve my jumping experience.
All right. So I think with that, our little EPC 176 droid can jump off of our show here into an escape pod and head out. Again, thanks to all of you for following us all in through 2016 and starting with us here in 2017 and joining us here on whether you're catching us on newoverlords.com or iTunes or YouTube or live on Twitch. We will stream again next Tuesday night on twitch.tv/newoverlords around 10:30 p.m. Central. Please follow us on Twitter at MaxTheGray and at AIESEMA. Come find us on Jedi Covenant and ask us for an AIE Guild invite as well, because we would love to have you. And we'll also talk to you soon.
Later, everyone.